Okay. All right, guys. Here we are in game 3 between Nabs and CZ. I forgot to review the settings, Dave. What are the settings for game 3? Because
So they're going to do the
in 1 and
same
2.
thing like game 1. So they're going to do
Okay.
random civs again. So this is the one drawback of doing the random civs is if you're down 2-0 and you don't get advantageous civs, you might feel a little ripped off. But assuming CZ comes back and wins, then it'll be mirror next game as well.
Okay. So same settings pretty much. I will do my best. I don't know the player locations, so if I don't know it, maybe tell me what location they're sitting in, but I'll introduce the players this time. Starting for CZ, the team that is down 2 games. In the blue, we have Yannick playing as the Teutons. Then, let's see if I can find everybody here. Sorry. Where is Skull at? There we go. Skull is playing as the Persians, and this is Spain. Okay, and sorry, the first one was... Yannick was England. Okay.
Theoretically England. I don't know. This map is a bit... It's not to scale.
Yeah. If it was to scale, these boars would be freaking huge, and these villagers as well. But the Persians for Skull, and then Error is where he was last time, I believe, or close to it. He's playing as the Huns, and that location is
Greece.
Oh, I got one. I got one. Great. Okay. So then the other players playing for Nabs, we have Spaden in the yellow playing as the Mongols. I have no clue what this location is. What is this? Am I supposed to guess?
Germany.
France,
Denmark.
Germany, okay. And then we have Nick. Oh, gosh. Minimap. Blindness. Color blindness. Where's Nick at?
He's in the last possible spot. The one you haven't checked.
Sorry, man. Jeez. Playing as the Spanish. Okay. So, we should be good there. Dave, what do you think about the civs right off the bat? And then we'll talk about strategy choices as well.
These are some really strong civs. Like, these are some late game beast mode civs. So, you have Turks, Spanish, and Mongols from the Nabs team, which are all very good. The Spanish and Turk don't really... Their bonuses don't really come into play until later in the game. But, of course, the Mongols are really strong. Getting that early uptime. On the other side, Huns are very, very strong, especially early. Persians strong throughout the game, and then Teutons are really nice like later in the match when you start laying down farms, and they have a really good unit combo for post Imperial. So they're all kind of powerhouse Imperial civs.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. And the one interesting thing about Turks here, normally in RM you have to worry about losing gold, but on Europe you don't have to. You just need to have a decent population. There's gold and stone everywhere. This is the map if you want to see Turks, guys, and I know a lot of people do.
Turks might be the most annoying civ to play against on this map.
Because
if you get someone who's really good with Turks, well, you'll see 40 bombard cannons backed up by 100 bombard towers and siege rams, and then they have the elite cannon galleons, and it's just like any civ that has cannon galleon is automatically good at Europe.
Yeah,
and
because they can loop around with the water control.
Yeah, Turks just multiply that by 10 with all the crap that they have. And there's a possibility you can do the fast imps. Since there's so much fish, you don't even have to drop farms for fast imp. You can just go pure fish and then have all those villas you would have on farms over on gold. And you can get up by like 22 minutes and just start wrecking everything.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens. Pike. If there was one player in this game that would want Turks, it would probably be Pike, because I feel like Pike plays that annoying style where he would go towers and bombard cannons and the slow but decisive push. He's going to do a good job as Turks. I can just feel it. Let's talk about the dog positions, the TC positions. Anything that comes to mind as far as locations are concerned?
Error and Nick have both docked in a pretty standard location over there. Skull has actually docked the bottom, and he's Persians. But once again, Skull's dock is just so late. Like, he's already got 2 boars. He's going out for a 3rd boar, and it's just so late. It's like last game.
Yeah, everybody else has at least 2 fish.
Yeah, he did win the water last game, but I don't know how well he's gonna do here against Pike, who already has 3 fishing ships, is already taking the second boar here. And yeah, Skull might be in trouble with this forward dock down here. For as far as Yannick and Spaden are concerned, they both dock normal. So the only kind of unusual thing here is Skull's dock on the bottom. An
Okay.
interesting thing, you can see Nick doesn't want to take the same chance that Pike took last game. He's actually sent a fishing ship over to scout Air's docks to make sure he's actually there and not up top.
Okay. I see what you're talking about. He looped around here, that fishing ship, and basically scouting. So though he's not getting the food, he's getting the scouting, which is equally as important, really.
So Skull put down 1 dock, is going up to feudal age, and then is using his villager to wall. Now, it's nice to use that villager to wall, but the problem with doing that is that you won't have. He'll barely
Dock
even, if he
villager.
sends it right now, yeah, you won't even have a second dock by the time he
Yeah.
hits feudal age.
And this is not the first time you've criticized Skull for his water play, right? I think this is
Well, I'd criticize is a harsh term because he's not really familiar with the map.
okay.
But like, it's just strange, really strange decisions. Like he's going to drop a dock now with another villager
Another
that he sent.
villager. But normally you'd want to be getting your third one up when you hit the feudal age. Here it's going to be the second. If you compare, like, he's going to hit the feudal age a little bit earlier. He's going to have more fish,
And 3
slightly more
docks.
fish, and yeah, and 3 docks. So yeah, Pike's well ahead here. And normally in Africa, you want to be the one to win there, because otherwise you're going to be trapped here. But
Yeah, if you lose sea
it's
control in
not going to be good.
Africa, it's the messiest thing. It's the messiest spot, other than the islands in a 4v4 game, but those don't matter now because you can't actually access those in this map.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't mention it. I probably mentioned it before, but you can see the hay blocking off the other areas that are only available in 4v4. But everybody is in the feudal age once Nick hits anyway.
Man, Nick is just
Holy
Nick
fish.
doesn't look like he has any respect for his opponents here. Just so much fish. Like just ridiculous amounts of fish. And Era's done the same thing, so I guess Nick's not even gonna go for C. He's just gonna go fast castle and then maybe
Well,
make fire ships if he needs to.
it is possible
Oh,
that
galley's coming.
Nick scouted how many fishing ships Error had, and he realized that Error was ahead, and then he added in some extra fish instead of going up for an earlier build.
Yeah, he did. When he sent the fishing ship over there, Era, I think, had like 7 fish.
Yeah,
So that
mhm.
early in the game, that will tell you something. But I mean, I think it doesn't tell you enough to make that many fishing ships. I think he just knows the Era's not going to send over really quickly. And actually, Era has made a tower.
I think he's gonna think about transporting as well. He's a transport there, which is odd.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of... not much he can do if he transports there. Especially
Well,
with Nick going to Castle Age right now.
yeah, I assume he would transport and put a tower up, but by that time Nick could have a siege workshop on the way up. So you're definitely right. I think the late Castle Age time for Error not worth the investment to go with the transport and all this extra nonsense.
Yeah, and I mean, he's gonna get the tower down and he'll deny that gold, but Nick already knows where the other golds are. So he'll go to the north a bit. Oh wow, I completely missed the fact that Spaden just crushed Yannick up top on C. That Mongol bonus, and Yannick once again only making 1 dock.
Wow.
He did that in the
Yeah.
first game.
Yeah, and it is interesting too because you said CZ was so good on water, and yet they haven't been that good on water. So maybe that's just how good Nabs have been playing. One of the best clans in the game for RM. That tower's being walled up now. Error's going to make sure that doesn't get battered down easily. And still questioning that decision myself, but I think that will force Nick to push this back.
Mm-hmm. And the good thing for both those players is that they have the safe fish. On the bottom side, Skull actually I guess maybe Pike didn't scout the docks out early enough because Pike definitely had an early advantage, but now they're about even. And neither one of them is going up to feudal age anytime soon here, or to castle age. Pike just clicked now, so it's going to be like 2 minutes before he picks it up.
All right, well, Skull's thinking about pushing in. Pike is playing the macro approach, man. This is just what I know about Pike. He's not as aggressive, in my opinion. He should have fought, like you said. Small engagement now, but he knows that he has the eco advantage. He's going to try and get to the castle age first. I did notice that Nick has been massing some war galleys. And not really worried about that tower, like you said, Dave. Just going to another gold. Placing a TC there.
Air is coming around, but Nick has more. And actually in the middle, we see a smush from Yannick. So this is what's happening here from Yannick, is the smush. The problem for him is he's not going to have really the food.
Oh! Did you see that Yannick just killed his own monk?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's awful.
That's bad. That's bad. He's not really going to have the food to keep those 2 TCs running, and he's going to have to drop farms because he lost his fish early. And I guess Spaden is making a tower to stop that, which is kind of... I mean, 3 layers of stone wall would have stopped this completely for now. So here we go, first layer. All right. Spaden's going to be fun.
The tower should hold, and that's a really nice choke point for him to wall as well. Something to point out is that Skull had a really nice victory versus Pike. So not only is he cleaning up some of Spaden's galleys at the moment, but he can clear up Pike's. But, oh man, Spaden's sending in more than I thought.
Oh, but Nick's coming from the other side. Oh my goodness, Skull. That's really unfortunate for him.
Oh man. Great teamwork, though, from Naps.
Yeah, they got all 3 on Skull. And Skull must be thinking, like, right now, like, oh, come on, guys. It's like literally all 3 of them here. What the hell?
Well, looks like 2 villagers have died. Spaden struggling to keep it.
I did not notice that at all. Error is flooding knights into Spaden's base right now, and Spaden's done.
Oh, jeez. Hold on. I saw the stables earlier. And the knight just ran around. Spaden. Oh, this is really bad.
He didn't wall. He's made 1 camel, but what's that going to do? And the mangonels are in on the bottom side from blue as well. And Spaden has 1 villager. He's escaped up north. And I wonder if that's going to be the only one he has left in a bit, because...
That's Paulette. She always appears. Yeah, you're right, man. And these villagers should not lure these knights to Paulette, who's going to transport away.
No, they should leave Paulette alone. And I think Yannick knows he's done enough damage now to Spaden.
He's going to run away.
He's just leaving it there for error, and he's going to go hit Nick. Nick now dropping stables, getting ready for it. Already making knights, so he already knows what's coming. Getting the armor upgrade as well. But that's really what happens when you don't wall 1 section of your map.
Yeah, and it's funny, we were talking about a 3v1 on the docks of Skull. Well, Spaden just got teamed up upon as well, and not looking good for him. Meanwhile, that means Pike is stranded on Africa. Unless he starts... Well, hold on a second. I'm sorry. His team has the water down here.
He's
yeah,
fine.
he's fine.
And he's
His team
making
has the water.
extra fish, which is great. That's a great decision to make extra fish. You don't want to start laying down farms this early.
But oh geez, look at this. Nick running away from that TC on that gold. He does have the other one
from the other side.
Man.
We got error coming in now. So Nick's going to have some problems. He does have a castle on his main TC. So Air can't push from that location, but like he's got a lot of villagers up north there.
The problem for Nick is that if you're relocating villagers like this, you're not going to have a strong economy because they haven't been working. Plus, he had to rebuild a TC, so I don't know how many knights he can make here. Nab's looking at an awful position on land, at least.
Well, Nick can make quite a few knights because he has all those fishing ships, right?
Yep,
so you see, he's already got like a lot of knights queued up, and he can definitely take one of these fights. I don't know if he can take both of them if they fight together.
And at the same time, he's actually going to take all of Error's fish as well with his galleys.
Oh, that's a big deal. That's a good play from Nick. It's a really good play.
Error is sending all these villagers away, picking off maybe 3 or 4 villagers, going to probably kill the other 2 that are in that TC. So while Nick has a small victory, pretty big loss there as well.
Yeah, the build count is definitely in Nick's favor, and Error already has 3 TCs up, putting a 4th one at the top, and he has fish at the top, actually. I didn't notice that at all.
Oh, this is
So
really messy, though, for Nick. Or, sorry, not for Nick. I'm getting players confused constantly because it's so fast-paced.
Oh, for Error, that
in the green.
castle?
Well, no, I was talking about losing the mangonels, but where is this castle? Oh, jeez!
That's an awful location for the castle, and he lost the mangonels at the same time. That's 4
Yeah.
mangonels that went down, and his knights were horribly out of position. They're raiding Nick's villagers right now, but I think they're going to be picked off by the castle and the TC.
But still, this is incredibly messy. I'm just watching the Vil counts, and remarkably, we only have one player above 60, and that happens to be Error. And Error does have the safe fish at the top, like you said, Dave. We'll show the stream real quick. Error, though, that was messy, still in a pretty good position, I think.
Yeah, and he's seeding a ton of farms now. Like, he has quite the economy going. Meanwhile, Spaden's actually working his way back into the game. He's got his 3rd town center coming down now.
Wow.
And that happened because Yannick decided to go for Nick. I agree with Yannick's decision to go for Nick. But I felt like he could have left a couple mangonels and a couple monks over there to kind of delay Spaden even more. Because
That's true.
Spaden might become a factor here.
Well, what's going on with Pike? His Pike has 28 fishing ships. What is his plan going to be? Looking at his economy, just boom up, right? He's going to click Imp soon.
He
Actually,
did
he's
the
just
right
done it.
thing. And just as soon as you win water control and you know they're not coming back, make like 30 fishing ships.
Yeah,
And
well,
he's going to be beast mode in Imperial here because you don't have to research chemistry as Turks, and if you have gold, make a lot of powerful units really, really quickly.
and speaking of quickly, Error is on the way up now as well. He is Huns, so what do you think we will be seeing from him? Paladin?
Yeah, Paladin. Especially against Spanish. I mean, Paladin, Siege Ram Held. Maybe some Trebs.
Yeah, we see the knights coming in from Nick, and they're not going to get in because of the walls now from Error. Spaden's coming back into this game. Spaden is a really important civilization here. Mongols, probably the strongest for his team, arguably anyway, because we could talk about Turks and Spanish all day. But a lot to focus on now.
On the other team, we have Persians, which is the strongest civ in Europe. So we've got 4 TACs now for Skull, and his Vil count is tied with Error right now.
Wow.
Skull's rebounded quite nicely here, and he's going to be really dangerous if they leave him alone for too long.
I don't see how they can attack him unless Pike does, and what will Pike be going with?
He's making a castle, so he's probably going to be going some Janissaries here. Meanwhile, in the middle, lots of monks, and Nick got a ton of his knights converted. There's so many monks from Janik now.
Yeah, dude, actually, I remember he had about 15 knights, and now they're all Yannick's. Oh,
well, some of them
catch.
are in Error's base right now. So...
Jeez.
It's very, very messy.
Large economies. It seems like CZ has withstood the initial push from Nabs, or at least been the one to push. And we're going to see an Imperial Age battle for the first time in this matchup. We have 2 castles now for Pike in this area. He's building siege workshops, so we're going to see bombard cannons and janissaries then, like you said. And is he going to push to the top, or is he going to push to the left and attack Skull? What do you think?
I think he should go to the left and try and get Skull. He's gonna have a really strong army here soon.
Yeah, Skull is probably going to go Paladin in the early game. He's going to be Imp here in a second. He does have stables. And need a pretty strong, healthy economy to go with the Elite War Elephants. I don't think that 94 villagers is enough based off my RM experience. But Nabs does have the score, believe it or not.
Yeah, I mean, Skull's going for Paladins right away. But you can always transition. It's not like you have limited gold supply. So you can transition, especially with Sling, into War Elephants quite quickly. If someone sends you a boatload of resources. I see Error coming in. He's dropping another castle on Nick's on the north side.
Yeah.
And if he trips down those castles from Nick's not going to be in a great position here. Like, Nick's entire food economy is coming from fishing ships right now. And that's a lot of his pop. at the moment.
And that can be lost in an instant, too, if Error decides to go water. So we're going to have to keep focusing on that. It's nice that Nick is leaving his galleys along the shore. That way Error can't redock. But meanwhile, Skull is walling up. A lot of walls.
I love this. I love this from Skull. He knows that eventually Persians probably going to win against Turks. So just delay. Try and get a better economy going. Get all your upgrades. He's getting Cavalier right now. And just wait for that good engagement.
Yeah. And it's going to be difficult for him because there is a choke point, but right now there's not a lot of Janissaries to protect these bombard cannons.
Spaden. Error is in the Spaden's base right now, and those Magadai are not elite. And Error has a bunch of armor upgrades on his Cavaliers. And I feel like Spaden's going to have problems here. He still only kept that one layer of stone wall up at the top, and I think that was a mistake. I think
it might have got busted down by that trebuchet. Yeah, I mean, Spaden not wanting to wall, maybe a little bit of overconfidence because he didn't do it again. But yeah, losing a lot of his eco here, a lot of idle time, and not very good for Spaden, like you said. And Mongols later on in this game going to be such an important factor.
Yeah, Paladin coming in here from Skull as well.
Yeah, so Skull's going to need that Paladin upgrade to fight these units. And honestly, I feel like if he goes now with Cavalier, he can kill these units. There's not a lot of bombard towers. Pike is running a little bit too far forward, maybe, to build these towers. If he gets a few of them up, though, that's going to be huge.
And on the other side, Nick is in problem. Like, Nick has problems right now. Once that castle goes down, that gold's gone. And he's gonna have to. The only gold he has access to then is the one on the island at the very far south.
Well, I'm trying to watch this fight between Pike and Skull. It looks like the army's being pushed back. The one tower did go up, and unfortunately, this choke point is just gonna be awful for Skull. He's gonna have to run back for now. Yeah, you're definitely right about Nick, though. He's defending this small little area with just trebuchets. And Yannick still has some monks and pikes there as well. Not going to make life easy for him. And now Air's running in with these Cavalier to take out the trebuchets. Awful position for Nick.
Yeah, this is really bad for Nick. As soon as he loses that castle, it's just gone from bad to worse here for Nick. Yeah, I don't know what to say. And the one problem with rebooming in Europe, it's very easy, but the thing, it's almost like space is a resource in Europe.
Yeah, momentum. You lose momentum.
Yeah, and like Nick doesn't have any space on this little Italy spot. Like nowhere to build houses. He was housed for a very, very long time. He's gonna be again once he loses this castle. Unless he loses all these villagers, which he might.
Oh, jeez, you're right, man. It's obvious he doesn't have the resources right now. Meanwhile, a Skull is getting siege ram. He has Paladin on the other side, so he might be able to hold against Pike. But man, this is one heck of an army from Pike.
You see what I mean about
Turks? Exactly, man.
It's stupid, man. It's just stupid once they get going. And he's got the economy to back it up at this point. But look at his base. I didn't notice. That's why Skull's not attacking him on Spain.
Oh,
Pike's base is getting wiped.
Wow, he went right across the shallows. This is a really ballsy move.
That's such a good move from Skull to just ignore the place you can't attack and just go wipe his base while he's not noticing.
Well, he's going to take that castle out, and with siege rams, I honestly think he can take out these towers too, because it will not take long to take out these walls. Pike's going to need some form of melee, and that's really smart. Meanwhile, Pike still trying to push in a bit, trying to cut this off, but Skull's just going to run away.
I mean, if Pike's fast enough, we actually might see a base trade. Like, look at Skull is so distracted. Look at his main base. He's just now reseeding farms, but he had like 40 villagers not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, Nick got a bunch of his villagers killed. He's down to 45 villagers now, but he's kind of stabilized on that side with the fortified walls. Spaden is at 88 villagers now.
Yeah,
and
Spaden...
it looks like he's going to help Pike on, because he did have a TC in Pike's base.
Okay, so he's going to help Pike, but he could also help Nick, because a lot of Mangadai, and they can run over and maybe clean up. Yeah, I mean, with that amount of Mangadai and the trebuchets, he can take out these castles and maybe give some breathing room to his ally here. But still, just
Jeez.
look at Pike's eco. Remember, you were talking about not
all
making
fish.
farms because of the fish? Well, if he loses the fish now, he won't have any eco left.
Man, it's gonna take a long time to kill that many fish. That's a
true.
lot of fishing
38
ships. Oh my
fishing
goodness.
ships.
Paladin
Well,
upgrade now coming in from Error.
Meanwhile, the
And
annoying
big
push
shots.
from Pike continuing.
Oh, big shots on the Magadai.
Oh, jeez.
That was not a good push from Spaden.
And he needs to be
that's gonna
careful again.
Tough to take that fight.
Paladins and SO. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
He's
for
gonna
him.
lose all those trebs there. They were stacked on top. Oh,
Oh, were those 3 trebuchets?
yeah.
It's rare you see Trebs stack like that. But man, you're definitely right. Spaden's going to need some siege as well, I think. And still not looking good for Nick, but he is going for Paladin, even though he only has 49 villagers.
That's what the fishing ships does for you.
Yeah.
The problem for Nick, clever boy. Clever boy. He's transported villagers. He's on the back of Error's base now on the gold. He needed gold, so he goes back. He needed gold and stone.
With the Magadai. Yeah. Might have just ran around, actually.
No.
Unless
I
I'm
mean,
looking at
in
a different
Error's
area.
base, Nick has a base.
Oh, Nick. I'm confusing players. Oh, yeah, you're right. He has a little bit more space now. And Error's aware of that. Pike is continuing to push in. Look at the amount of towers and units we have. What do you do if you're a Skull? Can you do this alone? Can you push this back alone?
It's almost gotten to the point where it's just like that. He made a really good decision to go kill Pike's base, and it's almost gotten to the point where it's just you delay as long as you can, and you push in another area.
Yeah. I just don't
Like if
see
he
him being
goes up
able to
top
do
and
this.
goes to Pike's castles, he can take that out. But as far as that push goes, as Persians, you're gonna need some help from you.
Well,
sure.
as good as Pike is doing, similarly, Error and Yannick are doing a great job. More trebuchets going down for Spaden. Spaden's getting pushed back into his base. We could see a SO cut right through, and I think that's going to happen right now. Yannick's going to cut and allow these Paladins to get into the base of Spaden. So, pretty good pushes from both teams right now. But Nabs does have the lead, I think, just because of Pike's position. But, oh, huge engagement with the Paladins between Pike and Skull.
Yeah.
They're just going to die, though.
Well, I mean, he delayed him because he's picking off the bombard cannons, which is the unit that you use to push. So, I think that's a good trade. And he's going to go pick up 4 more. And he doesn't even realize that's just luck right there if he sees those. He didn't see him!
Oh, no! Oh, both players focusing on 2 different things. Oh, geez, that really sucks.
Jeez. But the big difference in this game, look at the freaking fill counts, man. It's just
Error
Nick
and Yannick.
and Pike got wiped.
Yeah. And that'll pay off in the long run for the CZ team. Ooh, okay, so Skull is now here with his Paladins. A lot of SOs and Trebs. This is really bad for Spaden. He's going to need some help, and that help's got to come from Nick, right, in the red.
Yeah, and Nick is kind of helping by distracting Error.
Yeah.
So, like, he's winning the fight in Error's base, which is really nice.
Yeah, so 2 different fights now, guys. Nick is fighting in Error's base, trying to attack his eco, and also he's defending what was his old economy, though I think he will lose that one. But big fight going into Spaden's base. Multiple castles, Paladins, SO, Trebuchets. This is not going to be good for Spaden, but at the same time, a very strong push coming in from Pike, and not good for Skull.
It's just a base trade in every single aspect. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Yannick's the only one with a safe base in this game.
That's true. That's true. Wow. And Yannick has a lot of siege onagers. I do not see how Spaden can fight this with Mangadai. Spaden's going to get his whole base wiped out again. And the one thing Spaden doesn't have is a lot of fish. So if he loses his base, he's in trouble.
He's got a base in Pike's old spot, though. Like, he's making another town center there. He's got a bunch of Mangadai there.
What?
So maybe we'll see Spaden rebuild on Africa and then go into Spain as well, because Pike is definitely going to take Spain.
Oh, yeah, it does look like Spaden is building siege workshops. He might help out with that push on the bottom side. A lot of multitasking. Pike is taking Spain at the moment. This is incredible stuff.
And Nick is winning where his old base used to be. So Nick's pushing on 2 areas right now with that economy, if you can call it that. I don't know how he
Yeah,
survived for so long on that just fish boom.
a lot of omega 3s. But yeah, good push to get back into this. I would have called GG about 25 times now if I were in these guys' positions.
Well, the one thing that's missing from this game is cannon galleons, and I feel like Nick might be the first one to go for it. Because, like, Yannick's base, if one of them went C somehow, like
Oh,
if
yeah,
Pike had
it's
gone C,
ranged.
Yannick's base would have been completely wiped. And
That's a good
we
point.
might see Nick go for that to help kill Era's base as well. Era now transitioning into Halberdiers, very, very nice against Nick. But Nick already has hand cannons, so...
Alright, well, Spaden's kind of running away for the time being. Now, Nick is going to be up against some Teuton towers. But there's not many Bombard towers up just yet. But things have kind of slowed down. Pike has destroyed everything, though. And if you look at the population of Skull, that just tells the story. 62
Well,
total
Skull
population.
Kind of picking a nice fight in Spain.
That's a good
Taking
point.
out
Taking out the
of
Bombard
Janissaries
cannons.
and taking out a lot of Bombard cannons. But the battle's already over there. I mean, ideally you want your Persian player with the highest pop, and he's the lowest in the game now.
Okay, there was definitely friendly fire between that Bombard tower and the Bombard cannon, but the Bombard cannon didn't go down. I'm not sure how that works, because you rarely see that. But, if this was real life, that one Bombard cannon would be dead. But anyway, it looks like Skull, in the purple, has relocated his economy right next to Yannick. And Spaden's gonna have to think about relocating now because he's in trouble. All these villagers on the wood line, say goodbye.
Oh no. Man, that's like half your economy right there.
Yeah.
Let's look at his res, because I feel like his res, yeah, he has 4,000 wood, so he's not missing the wood they didn't drop off, but he has no food, he has no gold.
He has a couple TCs, but they seem to be safe. One's in the top corner. It looks like Era has found it with the Paladin, believe it or not, looking for all these safe areas, I guess. And then he does have that small economy you were talking about next to Pike, and Pike could always sling him as well.
I think Skull is going to take Spaden's old base now. And Skull should, if you're going to reboom on Europe, and you'll find yourself with the discrepancy in resources oftentimes, as the siege onagers come in and take out all of Nick's trebs. Oh, that's awful for Nick.
Oh, where are we talking, Dave?
In Nick's old base.
Oh, sorry.
But if you find yourself with like 4,000 wood, make like 70 fishing ships. Just get yourself right back into the game, and you can reboom really, really quickly in this map.
And that's what's exciting about it, because this game would have been over a long time ago if it wasn't for the map layout, and the players know the map, and the players are implementing different strategies. But right now, Pike has Yannick's old base. Wait, no, I'm sorry, I'm getting players confused often.
We gotta stop saying old base, because by this point, like, everyone's relocated like 3 times.
That's true. Yeah, we can't even say old base anymore. But one thing I noticed is, I'm looking at the mini-map, it does look like Nick, in the red, is trying to push a little bit more to the left, and take out the economy, which he has already done a good job at gutting so far against Error. There's a lot more units over there than he did a moment ago, and he's not trying to push out of his starting area because of the large army from Yannick.
Right now, Yannick has to transition into something else. So he's been going pure siege onager, and I think he may have been sending sling to his allies. But he needs to transition into like paladins or something along those lines to really help push. And I think he needs to get bombard towers as well. Oh, he does have bombard towers, a ton of them, never mind.
Yeah, look at the large army now from Pike. Pike's there, Spaden is there right next to the hidden fish in the water where the bridge is. And they're going to be pushing in, and they're going to be looking for Skull's new economy. And there's a lot here for the CZ team. So they are in a choke point. If an SO goes off and happens to catch these guys out, that's going to be devastating.
The SO is not going to get anywhere near that.
with the
nowhere
towers.
near that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's like 12 SOs coming, so maybe they will. I don't know.
That's what
Meanwhile,
I was thinking.
in Nick's economy, he's actually overchopped. Oh, he's walling it now. He sees it. That's a
Oh,
smart
the shots
play.
could come in here, Dave. Will the Mangonite go for the micro at the
Oh,
fast
those
speed?
Mangonite.
Oh,
Don't lose the
jeez.
Mangonite.
Well, he has to be careful with the bombard cannons too, because there's so many SOs. I don't know if he can micro them safely.
And Skull is actually going for C. I like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Kind of. It's bad for. Usually, you don't want Persians on C late. But he did
Yeah.
have a ton of wood. So if you can gain back water control, and like Pike still has a ton of fish. Like Pike hasn't made any farms this game. So if you can take those out, and especially Nick is so vulnerable to water control, it might actually work out for them.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
that's true.
Yannick cutting through a Nick's economy on that one little area is exposed.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, Yannick is there with SOs. And now Paladin's there from Error as well. And not looking very good for Nick. But his population's still pretty high just because all the fishing ships.
So shots in the middle.
Ooh.
And the Mangonite. All of them.
Wow. And they're being pretty stubborn. They want to fight here. There's more Mangonite on the right from Spaden. But what is he accomplishing with them? Not much.
Spaden needs to reboot.
But he needs to be careful too. SO could fire. Nope, didn't happen. Dave, back to what you said real quick. I agree, Skull's decision is really nice to go to water. Even though his civilization isn't the best water civ, he doesn't have a lot of space. Oh man, Spaden continually losing his Mangonite. So if he doesn't have the space on land, he can push on water and try and do damage to their economies that way.
I thought for a second, like 10 minutes ago, I thought Nabs had this in the bag because they were pushing back everywhere. Pike was pushing in. And now we see Nick's base on Italy just getting wiped. Like, all his fishing ships got wiped. His gold got wiped. There's paladins from Error coming into Africa now. And they're going to raid Pike's eco. And Spaden's new eco. And they're holding in the middle.
Yeah, bombard cannons going down left and right for Pike here. Needs to be very careful. You're definitely right about that hold. And Nick's population is now down to 130. I don't think Pike can hold this. And a big shot coming in again. Wow.
I think you're underestimating the power of Turks, man.
Maybe.
He just needs to get more bombard cannons in there.
Are you going to
deal with
him?
the siege ram? He needs to get more. Well, the thing is, they're going to have to shift focus. See, every time they shift focus, Error comes over to help against Pike or Spaden. Nick pushes back. And if you look at Error's base, original base, Nick has a very strong push going on right there.
Yeah, he does.
That's
and that's the same.
So tough for Huns to stop.
Yeah, you're right. Huns can't deal with gunpowder and trash very well. But then you see Skull's looping around, and Skull is potentially going to be able to take out all of Nick's fish, and that would maybe include Pike as well. Wait, does Pike have fish? He has 0 fish. Did he lose all of them already?
Yeah,
I guess he did.
He lost them to Skull. See,
Wow.
that was a really good move. And at the same time, Error came over with Paladins. So Pike's trying to reboom on Spain, and I think Spaden needs to go there too, because Spaden, look at Spaden's Vil count. It's been at 60 forever. And he's trying
way
to
too
produce
low.
Mangonite, and it's just... You gotta have a good economy, right?
Well, if you rewind, you'll see that CZ had more villagers and less fishing ships this entire game. Maybe more villagers going to pay off for them now that they've taken out the opponent's fishing ships. They're still pushing these towers in the middle. Pike is still trying to hold it and being stubborn. Spaden's sending some in SO behind, but they're losing ground.
Yeah, Pike's gonna have trouble there, but with the SO, and he's building bombard towers there, he could hold that for a while more. I think. As long as he doesn't friendly fire Pike's Janissaries there. That was close.
Yeah, once or twice he did kill a couple of those units, but I still think, I mean, just look at all the SOs coming in from Yannick now, Dave. I think they're going to try and push past the what do you call this, a pond or
so
a
many
river at the very
bombard
least.
towers, and the Rams are going to have to run through the choke point of SO fire. I have no idea who's going to win this game.
Yeah, I'm looking at the population, and CZ has way more population. Pike is down to 78 pop. He's building mainly towers, that's it.
He's got Spain, And Spain is the late game. Spain is the most important place because
That's
you
true.
have like 3 golden stone piles each, like 4 golden stone piles each. And he's got the gold in the middle. So gold over the next, it doesn't really play a factor over the first like hour and a half of a game, but it'll start coming into play pretty soon here. And you'll see them start like, Spain already put a TC on one of the islands in the middle of the Mediterranean with gold on it. So you'll see them picking up these random piles in different places.
Yeah, you're right. There's just too much space there. And we did mention it earlier. Momentum and space is so important in this one. CZ trying to regain momentum, but these towers and bombard cannons and now Mangadai just proving to be too much. So I think they're going to choose to go back.
I think Nick's just been an absolute beast this game. Like, I don't know how he's survived. I don't know how he's pushing green space. And I feel like he'll push up back through Italy into the same location he originally started. If you give him enough time here.
Yeah, he's a strong player. Is struggling with population, but I'm going to look at his resources and see where he's at. Yeah, pretty good. With the exception of gold, he's in a good position, I think.
Yeah, but he has access to a few gold piles. Like, he has the one in the back of the one he's taking right now, and there's also one on that little island there. And there's one in the island. So eventually, I'd love to see from this game, I'd love to see Skull go into War Elephants.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that'd just be a game killer here for Nabs. He almost has the resources to do it now again. He's moved back up to 125 villagers.
Yeah, he's going Paladin. The problem is he doesn't have any castles at the moment. Look how many Mangadai Spaden has. Almost 100 military. Mangadai on the left and Mangadai on the right. We're going to see a big fight, but Spaden continuing to lose. The Mangadai.
Get close, man. Get close. Oh, that was not worth it at all.
Jeez.
That was, what is there, one Siege Onager ruin there, and there's like 40 Mangadai bodies?
Oh, yeah, you know what? Yannick has done a great job for CZ as well, because his Siege Onagers have, well, they've supported the push, but also they have been the main part of most pushes as well. It looks like Yannick trying to dock in his choke point, which would be really nice to hold it. But total destruction there.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, man. Oh, look at the Manganais now fighting the ships. From Skull. Skull really needs to either needs to get cannon galleon, or he needs to kind of go away from the sea and start producing elephants somehow. Ask your allies for stone and get back on land. He is producing more paladins and siege rams now, so he's gonna try and push on land. But
what I really like from Yannick is how he cut the trees and he gave his teammates a little bit more space, because the choke points really weren't conducive for a push. He's still watching his teammate waste a lot of his own rams, sending it into these towers, but not bad for him. The Spaden, his KD is just awful this game from Mongols. Losing all these Mangadai now next to the ships, his SOs. But big fight in the middle, but also a 1v1 on the right-hand side.
yeah, between Error and Nick. Error's done a really good job. Huns against Spanish is never something you want to see in late imp.
That's a good point.
You never want to be the Huns player, because you have no options, basically. The other player knows exactly what you're going to do. How Paladins...
Oh, Yannick could lose all of these
shots!
SOs!
Oh my god, what the...
Oh,
see you later, Siege Onagers.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, luckily for him, he killed some of Spaden's, but if he doesn't have SOs there, then it's going to be very difficult for Skull. And Skull's finding that out now. It's played on fast speed, and they're multitasking on the left and the right side all at once. Their economy as well, so we're bound to see some slip-ups. And wow.
That was not good. The thing that Yannick has done, which is really great, every time he pushed forward with his Siege Onagers, and I was about to say he's been very careful with them until then.
Yeah.
He's made bombard towers right behind where he's pushed up. So now, when he loses a battle like this, he has a couple minutes where he can kind of regroup and get more pop of Siege Onagers, because they're going to be busy killing his bombard towers.
Well, it looks like Skull is going to go cannon galleons on the left side. And also, you can see Yannick has some SOs there, too, so maybe they'll be tempted to go after the towers on the left and push there instead of in the middle. But right
Yeah.
now, this is neck and neck, man. Like, nobody is gaining any ground whatsoever.
Well,
An hour and a half
the
into
thing
this.
that's happened in the last minute here is that Skull's come around and Nick's losing that battle because he lost his fish, and he lost his he's losing his lumberjacks and whatnot.
Okay.
So the water control really hurts Nick because he's lacking in space. So he's not going to be able to
yeah, that's a
fight
good point.
against Error, and Error has to make sure that he continues the momentum of this push and completely wipes Nick off this area. You cannot leave him here.
Yeah, it's true. And so often we've seen players make the mistake of allowing players to survive in this game, and as the water control comes in from Error and from Skull, maybe they're just going to try and suffocate
from
him.
Yannick, look at, we have cannon galleons in the middle, and they're taking down the Mongol castles, which are so important.
Dude, there's so many things going on. Like, I don't even know where to look. Mongol
And Pike-
castles. Where are his castles now? It's like he's built so many castles.
Yeah, and Pike, once again, massing those bombard cannons. He needs to get like 20 of them and just get a ridiculous push going here, because with the Mangadai to back him up to take out the siege rams, that's a really difficult thing to stop.
Yeah. Well, that's a critical amount of towers for Pike. Oh, I see. Okay, I found the cannon galleons by accident. Spaden's gonna try and attack them with SOs. And
might get
he
a
should be
few.
successful with doing that, yeah.
They're going to be outranged now, though, so that's he needs to move those. And actually, Skull has cannon galleons on Nick as well, so Nick's going to lose that little area there. He should, anyway. Should lose that.
Yeah, he should. Is he trying to win water back? No. I imagine if Eric continues to push in, he does have trebuchets, halberdiers, paladins. He should be able to do this, Dave. Especially once the castle goes down. So, very good, and that means Nick, who remarkably is at 100 Poppins top score, probably because of all the kills. He is going to have to find another area to push from.
He's rebooming on Pike's old days, and he's actually sent some villagers over to Spain as well. Spain is so important for rebooming in the late game. Like,
Yeah.
owning that all that area over there is so important.
I can tell. I mean, they've been untouched. They have towers along the water's edge. Pike prioritizing that, doing all of that while we're not looking at it. So they know it's important, and it's obvious that CZ does as well because they're looking to push down. But man, just so many towers from Pike. These SOs cannot get near these bombard towers.
It's nice to see that Error is taking Nick's base very seriously. He has like 8 trebs over there. He's like, I've had enough of this. I am wiping this guy out of my land, and
Yeah.
he's never coming back.
They're gonna have some time then. Once they kill him, it's gonna take time for Nick to be able to fight on land. So maybe that'll help them out in the middle. But still, it's just gotta be so difficult to take out these towers.
Oh, geez, Nick's going C now too. So if Nick goes, Nick's making docks on Spain, so he knows he has to keep helping his team somehow, even if he can't fight on land. So he's gonna go C, and he's probably gonna go to Yannick. Already has chemistry, so maybe the cannon galleon upgrade coming in soon, and they'll get a lot of map control if he does that actually, because he could hit a bunch of Skull's base, Yannick's base, everything.
That's true. And Spanish as well. Spanish cannon galleons, arguably as annoying as Turk bombard towers. They fire fast. They're pretty strong. I
That's,
like the fact...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry. No, I was just going to say I like the fact that still these teams are holding in the middle, and they have been for almost half this game now.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong army from Spain there. Or from Spain. Like, that's a lot of siege rams, man. And
Dude, I don't
not
even
so many
see 'em.
SO from Yannick to help defend against that.
Oh! Sorry, I had to toggle away. You're right. That's a mess of
huge
siege
army.
rams. Wow. So the
And
paladins
there's
are
one
gonna be
SO.
forced to
Take it out!
engage.
Take it out! Oh, he got it. He got it.
Oh, the paladins will die
Oh,
to
now
the
the
SO from
paladins.
Spaden, though.
Kill the SO, Spaden. Kill the SO. And the Rams can just do work here. Kill the SO, Spaden. Kill the SO, Spaden.
Oh my gosh, dude. I don't even know how to cast one like this. I mean, the Rams are taking out towers, SOs are taking out everything in sight. The Paladins have gone down, but they will be back. We have the towers on the right, and Bombard Cannon's still behind. And that's definitely a victory for Nabs, getting a little bit more map control. But what really happened there? What did they kill? Like a tower and a building?
They killed about 4 towers, but
Okay.
they gained room for Pike to drop more bomber towers.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now the Nabs team can't even come through that little area on the right. They have to go all the way around now. Sorry, the CZ team. They have to go all the way around now. So that was decent. I'd love to see Pike drop a dock in those ponds in the middle and make cannon galleons in there.
Yeah, just to hold it.
Yeah, you can range so much, especially with the Turk cannon galleons.
CZ has brought over their cannon galleons. The Skull is here, and he's going to try and maybe range these towers, but the towers have proved to be a lot, and the push maybe proving to be too much for CZ now, as the Rams continue to push in, as Spaden has the Mega Knight behind still, and now the towers from Pike.
Yeah, and Nick actually has quite the presence on sea now. He's got about 40 ships now.
Where are they at the moment?
They're in the south. I didn't actually notice that Error was still raiding with Paladins. That's a really good move from him to go into Africa.
Oh, yeah.
Nick has a ton of ships up there, and he's actually, I think he might actually wipe out, there's ships north of that trying to hit Pike's bombard towers from Skull, and he's going to go over there and wipe those out. So that's going to be very good.
That's a good point. Error's doing a lot of really nice raiding, not letting up with that all game. But still, can he be used in the middle now, Dave? Isn't the middle the most important thing?
No, the golds are the most important thing right now.
Okay, so any gold you can find.
Yeah, that gold that Pike's holding on to in the middle, very, very important. The gold they're fighting over right now, very, very important.
Yeah.
And like any space you can get is so important at this point.
Wow. Trebs deploying from air on the right-hand side of this one siege ram on 19 HP, killing 4 of them with that tower.
The problem is the Turk bombard towers, even the cannon galleons from Skull, like
cannot range them.
Well, they were elite cannon galleons, so they could, but until he got that elite upgrade, they couldn't actually outrange him. And now you see Nick getting cannon galleon, so it's gonna be really bad for Yannick if he sends cannon galleons over to his base.
Yeah, his docks are on the left, so we're gonna see Spanish cannon galleons, you would think. And now it looks like Spaden's trying to push to the right-hand side. There's not a lot of army there for Yannick or his team, so he's just gonna run in with the siege rams real quick and kill as many towers as possible and gain more space.
The good thing, I see Yannick upgrading keeps now. I like that. I'm not sure about Tootin keeps, but it might do something. This push from Spaden is just unreal at this point. He's been getting resources from Pike.
I can see that,
Pike has 165 villagers.
And Pike is full tower and bombard cannon, so that's pretty pricey, but it doesn't take a lot of pop.
Yeah, and actually, another front is being opened up here. We see Error coming onto Africa through that little gap. He's got siege rams there, and he actually might reclaim Africa and gain all that map space.
Wow. And then they could maybe come behind Spain and do some damage. And it looks like a lot of the gold for Pike disappearing because he's been wasting all the, not wasting, but using all these resources for this. Also still trying to pay attention to the Navy from Nick, and he's doing damage, and he might loop up and attack Yannick, which is what we talked about. Still hasn't happened.
Yeah, he's got one galleon up there right now.
Yeah, he does have it over the crossing there. But man, what a game.
Yeah, and I mean, look at, this is how seriously Error takes this gold. See that middle island in the middle of the Mediterranean in the south? He's made 2 castles there because he wants that gold in that stone.
Yeah. He knows how important it is. It doesn't even have any gold being collected at the moment, but yeah, what a battle. But Nabs continuing to push in the middle in a huge way.
Yeah, that's just a crazy push they've had. Like,
that's
so many rams,
stupid.
so many bombard towers, Magadai, everything.
And Pike is just slapping them down, man. Just slapping up more towers.
Lots of Paladin coming in now from Skull, though. So, I don't know if CZ can hold for a couple minutes while they take Africa. might be very, very good for them. Error looks like he's being quite successful over there. And the trade has started. You never see trade on Europe. The trade from Nick and Spaden. We have a market in Africa, and Nick has markets at the top of Spain. This is like once every 200 games you get a game that goes to trade. That's crazy.
Just because there's so much gold. Wow. Yeah. And you know what? The other team has Spanish, or sorry, they have Spanish, so they're gonna have that trade bonus.
Well, the other team has the best trade line in the game. So
That's true.
It's the bottom of Greece up to the very north, and it looks like they've set it up already, and they're actually starting the trade. So we got 2 teams with trade here.
Wow. Was not expecting that. But, dude, how many towers does Pike have? Over...
like, a lot.
Like 100. He's closing in on 100, I think. I don't know.
It's crazy, and he just keeps building more and more and more.
Yeah.
Where is he getting the resources for this? Like,
he doesn't have a lot of gold and stone left, but...
I wouldn't be surprised if he was just sending people food and wood, and they were just sending him all the stone they had.
Yeah. It is a team game after all.
I haven't really been paying attention, but look at how many towers he's dropping. They just can't reclaim the land. Once he takes it, they can't reclaim it.
Yeah, there's no way they can get in here. I mean, Paladins and SOs can get right underneath these towers. And CZ has to have something else in mind to go to a different area or go around or something. This is obnoxious.
It's too many towers.
Yeah.
On the southern side, Error actually managed to wipe out that castle from Spaden, so they actually might get into their trade route here. And if they can hold on, and if they have gold, they can just slowly work their way back into this game by killing those bomber towers.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. If Nabs does not have gold, they will eventually lose the towers. Now, Spaden does see this castle going up for Error. He's sending over his Mangadai to try and stop those villagers, and maybe he will protect that trade route for now. But if you look at the mini-map, guys, it's just a line of teal, and that's just the towers of Pike.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's not stopping either.
It's crazy. He has gone down to 119 villagers now. He kind of made a ton of villagers and just YOLO'd them to build all those bomber towers.
Yeah.
So the push has slowed down a bit from what it was. Like, he must have laid down 30 bomber towers in the space of 5 minutes there to push into France. That was crazy.
And he is getting resources. I did see he's being sent resources, but I don't know how much he's received. But definitely the towers have paved the way for the push of his team. Obviously, he knows the strength of his civilization. Spaden just coming in beneath these towers with the Mangadai. And you can see a small push on the right-hand side of the middle of this line from Error and from the rest of the CZ team. But it's just not going to be enough. They can't get near these things.
Yeah. They need to really push into the trade in the south. And whether Error can do that, I don't know. Nick now has a bunch of water control near Yannick's base. Yannick was forced to go Navy because of Nick, and it looks like he's almost out of wood. He's out of wood on his main area, Yannick.
Ooh, that's
so
bad. Actually, he is 4 trees.
Well, he has like within range. They're all within range of the galleons, so that's the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
He has eco over on in Error's area right now, but they need to hold at the top there before Nabs gets into their trade.
Yeah, I think Nabs is getting closer and closer, and there's just
Error's
not enough
now
here from
into the
CZ.
trade from the Nabs team, so he sees it. He's got Paladins down there, and he's making more and more production buildings down there. If he kills that one market, that's really bad for Nabs.
Yeah, that's true. He should think about prioritizing the market. I think he wants to mass more units first.
But
Now,
on the north, oh my god, what the hell is Spaden?
where is Spaden? Yeah, where is he getting these resources from? This
I don't
is
know.
insane.
I think Pike might be giving the. I don't know. And so many siege onagers from the bottom side from Yannick. He's trying to frantically get there, but I don't know if he can.
He can't get close to the towers, man. These towers can range all that. And the one siege ram. Oh, it was close. Spaden can send in the siege rams to attack these SOs as well. Wow.
Both trades now getting raided. But I feel like the Nabs just have such a stronger push here. It's crazy, and the Bombard Tower is taking out the Siege Onagers before they can even get near
Yeah.
What a game.
Yeah, what a game indeed, dude. And I do think that Spaden will be able to clean up his trade. Looks like that market was focused down, so it's going to slow him down for now. But more damage is being done at the top. And like you said, it's going to be too hard to push back Pike and his mess of towers. I know there's a way to count how many towers and certain buildings were in games. We need to have somebody apply that to this game because we need to know how many towers were used. But it almost looks like CZ is out of ideas right now. They can't deal with the Rams. They can't deal with the Magadai.
It's just messy at this point, and I don't know what they can do. They're trying to push on the south side, but Spaden's already got Magadai there.
Yep.
So even if Air comes in and raids with Paladins, like, does Air even have gold? Their trade is completely gone. He's only got 2 villagers on gold in that middle island, and they're calling it. Oh my god!
Wow. That's one of those games. That's one of those games you never want to see someone lose.
Oh,
But
I wanted both teams to win that. That was crazy.
Yeah. It deserved though.
Let's think about this for a second. So Skull started on Spain, and currently Skull's economy is in the middle of the map and over by Era's base.
Yeah,
Nick started on Italy. Currently, Nick's economy is on Spain. Pike started on Africa. Currently, Pike has a giant freaking line of bombard towers to the middle and nothing on Africa. Spaden started on France. Currently, Spaden really doesn't have an eco.
Yeah,
he just has Magadais. Like and trade. Like, it's crazy. Yannick was the only person who was untouched in his base. The only person.
Yeah.
Nuts.
That
crazy.
Multiple base swaps and so many dead units that game, and so many towers as well. Honestly, what we're going to do before we end this game is we're going to take the time to count every tower. I'm just kidding, but he has to be well over 100. That's nuts. But that is how you use your civilization, though. We could talk about teamwork all we want, but it looks like Pike was able to use the combination of his towers and his bombard cannons with Spaden's combination available with the Magadai and Rams, and it worked out.
Yeah. The one thing I would have loved to see, we saw everything in that game except one thing.
The elite war elephants.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You know what? That almost goes back to Skull not having his economy set for it because of the early attacks. Had he waited for elite war elephants, because I remember you said he has the resources, but he didn't have the castles, so it's like he was never in a position. So
yeah, but after a while, like when they were holding in the middle, and Skull was going C, like his allies should have been tributing him stone.
Yeah, that's true.
And just been like, man, we'll give you 5 minutes, make as many castles as you can, start getting the elite war elephants out. Because they did have Teutons as well. So like, what are you going to do against elite war elephants? You make monks, it takes 5 hours to convert them. So I mean, even Magadai don't do so well,
Dave. You know, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that because they did have Teutons on their team, so the Teuton team bonus would have really helped out against those conversions. That's actually a really good point. So there's just one small disappointment here, but don't let that take away from how good this game was.
That was incredible, man.
Look at the tribute sent as well. So maybe this goes back to what we were saying. Spaden sent 62k resources, and it looks like he. Yeah.
He's greedy.
Received. I'm sorry.
Didn't give anything. Didn't give anything.
Well, hold on. So he
zero.
Let's think about this logically then. So Pike sent a lot. He didn't actually receive much. So he had those resources naturally. Wow, to get to all those towers.
He went 170 villagers once he lost his fish. This was after he lost his fish. He went 170 villagers. He probably had 30 of them building. So 140 villagers. Like nothing on food,
and he wasn't touched. He wasn't really touched either.
On food, yeah. Well, other than his base completely getting.
Well, once he got to Spain, I should say, which is the most.
Who didn't have their base wiped? So.
yeah. Now a lot of tributes sent and received there. So wow, what a game! Look at the gold collected. That tells the tale, doesn't it? We have 72k for Northern Pike. And he also had a lot more stone too, so it's all because of those towers. I look at the military stats again for you guys. Nick played out of his mind, though. I mean, it wasn't flashy.
I don't know how. Yeah.
Exactly, guys. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't like he was sending the big groups of paladins in or anything like that all the time. But he survived and he played a really important role there. I'm just surprised he had so many units killed. It's almost like
That
we didn't see
landing
it.
on Error's base changed the entire game. And I think if Error had dropped a TC there earlier or had built anything out there, it was just dumb luck that Nick landed there and there was nothing. Like there was
Yeah.
no buildings there. Error didn't notice until it was too late. And then Nick was always pushing somewhere and was never taking a break. That's the key thing.
Yeah. And that's definitely the best game I've seen in Europe, man. Definitely
Yeah,
the
that's
best
one
game
of the
I've seen.
top for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
crazy.
hope you guys enjoyed that. Shout out to Doug3219 for the sub about 41 minutes ago. Sorry, we were focused on an intense game. Robo with the resub as well. Biggie, Billy Bob, Ben13. I think that's everybody. Also, Sacro del Toro donated $25. Dude, thanks so much for that. And then somebody donated, Dave. Maybe you can guess, or sorry, subbed. Maybe you can guess who it was. It's a 3-month resub, and he said, Dave sucks in Nomad. So, make a guess.
I hate Viper so much.
You knew.
Man. I signaled, man, I was playing Nomad and I thought I was trying to be a good teammate. I sent out like 4 sheep. I went around, I killed other fish, and then I scouted something near Viper's base and I'm like, hey man, there's an Orange Siege workshop. And I could just feel the sarcasm when he replied. He's like, thanks, Dave. I'm like, man, don't mock me. Don't patronize me. God damn it. It's like no more signaling for you. Never again.
Yeah. No teamwork anymore. There's the there's the timeline for you guys. Schneezy P, welcome to the T90 Elite. Guys, get some woo woo woos in the chat, please. Man, I haven't seen a timeline like that before. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 axes there, I believe. Insane. Oh, Viper says I had seen it 10 minutes earlier.
Yeah, I know. I know. I figured that out as soon as he said thanks, Dave. I was like, fuck. Fucking guy. I read it in his sarcastic voice too in my head.
Yeah, exactly. I know. That's the thing. Yeah. If he didn't
Yeah.
stream, it wouldn't be bad, but we know what he sounds like, and it just hurts our soul. Wow, what